Another shocking and unexpected prediction has come in for the match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul on July 20th.
This.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm talking, you make it still at 55. At 55, the power is the last thing to go, but the thing is the speed is still...
This time it's from Joe Rogan, and he seemed to be so assured of his comments, taking many of them from his discussion with Mike Tyson on his show, Joe Rogan Experience, some years back.
You could write all the bullshit you want in terms of scorecards. The fucking world, including boxers, all the boxers that were there said that he should have won. If I was Ngannou, I would tell him, I think he might be able to beat them all.
Joe Rogan, like many other boxing professionals all over the world, has made his prediction on the upcoming viral bout between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. And his predictions are as mind-blowing as they can be. Let's dive right in. UFC color commentator and podcaster Joe Rogan had his say on a match that has become the talk of the world, a match that sees American boxing legend and former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson return to the boxing ring.
Nice one, Mike. Nice one.
Joe Rogan spoke extensively about the upcoming bout, but he also had so much to say about the sparring session from Tyson that has been soaring across social media over the last few days. From his statements, it wouldn't take a researcher to deduce how much love Rogan had for Tyson, and he did prove it by making a huge prediction. To him, Mike Tyson is ageless and remains as terrifying and fierce as he was 30 years ago in his prime, a very bold claim he made without bulging. Contrary to the claims of many other boxing professionals, Rogan sounded so pitiful for Jake Paul, who he felt was taking a huge risk by fighting Mike Tyson. Truly, he respects Jake Paul's boxing abilities, but Tyson seemed too unreachable for Jake Paul to go head-to-head against. Rogan questioned why people often underestimate Jake Paul, and instead advised them to forget him as a YouTuber and perceive him like they would perceive regular boxers. No, I mean people can take something away from them because they're YouTube people. I always tell people, what? Just forget that Jake Paul is a YouTube guy and watch him box. Yeah, the kid can fight 100%. Rogan went ahead to highlight moments from Paul's fight against Tommy Fury as evidence of Paul's boxing ability. And that Tommy Fury fight really showed that. I mean, it goes to a split decision against a legit, undefeated boxer. While he had a big question to ask from Jake Paul as to why he chose to fight the monstrous Tyson, he spoke about Tyson's unbelievable magnificence in the boxing ring and believed he was still as potent. He approached the 31-year difference between the pair like it was nothing and boasted about Tyson's training intensity like a trainer would do to his trainee. No, why? I don't care if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson. Mike's in good shape. Mike trains every day. He trains with Rafael Cordeiro, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts.
No.
Yeah, he wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55.
Yeah.
That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape, too.
Oh, my God.
Mike trains every day.
He trains with Rafael Cordeiro, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts.
Rogan had nothing but praises for Mike Tyson as well as his trainer, Rafael Cordeiro, who he referred to as a MMA legend and renowned trainer. And Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson and Tyson smashing the mitts like Jesus, that guy can still knock you out. Talking to Mike Tyson just after he saw the sparring footage with Rafael Cordeiro, Joe Rogan told him, "But that's what I was seeing when I saw you hit the pads. I'm like, this isn't just working out. There was something going on, man. When you were working out with Cordeiro and you were ripping to the body and throwing those hooks, I was like, this is a man who is preparing to go into combat. This is not normal getting ready to work out stuff. That's why when I saw that video, I was like, oh."
When I was seeing you hit the pads, I'm like, this isn't just working out. There was something going on, man. When you were working out with Cordeiro and you rip into the body and throwing those hooks, I was like, this is a man who's preparing to go to combat. This is not normal getting ready to work out shit. That's why when I saw that video, I was like, oh.
He also referenced Mike Tyson's last fight 4 years ago against Roy Jones Jr. He stated that the technology for recovery used by Mike and his team were sublime, and these technological tools would likely be at his disposal once again. With the additional impact of technology, Rogan tipped Mike for a routine victory. In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins and healing, And he does all this like electrical muscular stimulation recovery stuff. When they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight, like they produces a state-of-the-art science. Like, I don't care if he's 55 years old, that guy will hurt you.
The electrical muscular stimulation recovery stuff, like when they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight, like they were using state-of-the-art science.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a if you think he's 55 years old. That guy will hurt.
Funnily, Rogan held Mike Tyson in so much high regard that he felt Jake Paul might get starstruck when he sees him in the ring, and really wakes to the reality that he's taking on Mike Tyson. If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson just bobbing and weaving it, he's going to have a recognition. Yeah, he's going to look over and God, that's really Mike Tyson. Joe Rogan then went ahead to show the footage, appreciating Tyson for his speed and power at such an old age. Rogan also looked back at Mike Tyson's match against Roy Jones Jr., sharing his sentiment that he felt an agreement held Tyson back from hitting Jones in the face. Evidently, most of Tyson's punches, except a few, were aimed at Jones's body. Look at this, dude. I'm talking you make him still at 55. At 55, the power is the last thing to go, but the speed is still there. I don't know what he did with Roy Jones Jr., but in my mind, it looked like they made some sort of agreement that Mike wasn't going to punch him in the face, because like most of the hits that he hit him with, unless it was a jab or something like that, was to the body. Yeah.
At 55, the power is the last thing to go, but the thing is, the speed is still. I don't know what he did with Roy Jones Jr., but in my mind, it looked like they made some sort of an agreement where Mike wasn't going to punch him in the face. Because like most of the hits that he hit him with, unless it was a jab or something like that, was to the body.
Yeah.
It is worth remembering that Joe Rogan came into awareness of all these details about Tyson some time ago when he invited the former American boxing professional to his show, Joe Rogan Experience. In their discussion, they went as far as talking about some aspects of Tyson's life that seemed to have so much to do with his return to the ring back then. Remarkably, Tyson remains motivated by these revelations till date. The discussion has now become more important than it was back then, as it gives more insights into many of Tyson's current decisions and actions. It contained the truth as regards why Mike Tyson returned to the boxing ring in his exhibition fight with Roy Jones Jr. 4 years ago, and why he's returning to the boxing ring on July 20th against Jake Paul. Joe Rogan quizzed Mike severally and tried digging up some deep revelations from Mike Tyson. One of such questions was on how he came about training with Rafael Cordero despite claiming he'd quit working out shortly before then. A giant boxing fan. He sends me this text message. He goes, "Dude, check this." And it's you, Mike Tyson. Training with Rafael Cordero. And I remember looking at it and going, oh, what happened? What happened? Because the last time you were in here, you were talking about how you didn't want to work out because it would ignite the ego.
A giant name.
Holyfield, one of that.
Yeah, Holyfield would be a great one too. But it's just having a guy like that has that big name, that is also an all-time great, and that also wants to do it too, and to get the public excited. I mean, I think it's a perfect fight to get the public excited.
Exactly.
Tyson explained himself. He did so extensively, and it becomes more mind-blowing how much hunger and passion Mike Tyson still has for boxing. This event must have informed Joe Rogan's recent comments on Mike Tyson's personality, strength, and skill in the boxing ring. Hey, let's talk about that too. I was discussing with my wife something about me being away. You know you have to. Sometimes you want to complain to your wife. You want to take her in your hands with some kind of perspective. And she said, well, why don't you just get on this treadmill for 15 minutes a day? I thought she said just 15 minutes. So it went from 15 minutes a day to 2 hours a day.
When I'm training, around 1 o'clock I'm in the gym, I'm doing the training. 2:30 I'm probably talking on the phone and flipping some deals, making arrangements probably to do other shows, a commercial or else some ads and just
Business
stuff.
shit.
Yeah, business stuff. And then
How did you get hooked up with?
Tyson then went ahead to reveal more reasons why he got back to his training sessions and picked up his gloves. He was pushed back to training after discovering he was gaining too much weight. And while on his weight loss program, the baddest man on the planet took the suggestions of some of his folks seriously. They tipped him to get in a matchup and make some good money, and he felt absolutely fine with their suggestion. But I was complaining about my weight, and so I guess I tried on some clothing. It was disastrous, and so I was worried about my weight, and she told me the 15-minute round, it went to 2 hours a day, and I just started losing weight, and then somebody, My brother-in-law said, "Hey Mike, man, I know you're not gonna iron, but would you fight this guy for like 40 million or 30 million bucks?" I said, "Whoa, that's not the thing." And I said, like, "Whoa, who would they like me to fight?" And they say 1 minute, and they go and they say it's Bob Sapp.
Oh, beautiful. Fucking beautiful right
Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike.
Before Joe Rogan could interrupt, Mike had more to say. And so I'm saying to myself, well, I know Bob. And I said no, because I know Bob is big and strong. And I said, oh, 1 minute, how would they like me to fight him? Can I fight him under the Market of Queensberry rules? And he said, 1 minute, Mike? He asked the guy. The guy said, yes. I said, I'll fight him. However, Iron Mike had more story to tell because the fight between Mike Tyson and Bob Sapp, who was a giant fighter, weighing up to 375 pounds at some point, was never fought. It didn't stop at Bob Sapp. Tyson's brother-in-law and his friend then kept proposing several other offers, including a heavyweight championship, before eventually settling for Roy Jones Jr. It went from him to somebody else and another guy in MMA, then this guy, and then somehow, some other fighters, and from another heavyweight champion. It was just a bunch of guys up here and fighting, and they say, it came down to Roy. I don't know what's going on. He signed the contract, and I signed the contract. Next thing you know, I'm in the gym again, and it's disastrous. I'm trying to get in shape. You would probably know, because if you're getting in shape and getting conditioned, they're two different animals. They don't even belong in the same workout division of working out. Getting in shape is being able to fit your clothes right. Being in condition is being able to come outside of your soul, and you can't do that automatically. Talking about his viral sparring session with Rafael Cordeiro, Mike Tyson had this to say about the difficulty and intensity. Let me tell you something about. I did that video as I was in bed for a week. That was 30 seconds and I was in bed for a week. And it's not funny because it made me realize that this is big boy stuff. That wasn't really cool. I'm talking about 30 seconds. The first time I ever did it, everything came and all that stuff came back that made me quit boxing. All the pain started coming back.
This is big boy shit, okay?
Big boy shit.
This big boy shit. You was
There
out,
it is right there.
Yeah, that wasn't really cool. That's in the gym. That's now.
The thing is, though,
That's now. That's going for 5 and 6 rounds. That's now. But I'm talking about before that 30 seconds. The first time I ever did it, I caught
That was our first day. That was our first day trying it out again. And after that day, I was in the bed. I had to come get the guy to do shots and electrocute me to get me back. I had the sciatica hit me. I couldn't walk. I was crying to my wife, and I was like, wow. And I don't know why, after that, I should have said this stuff is over. I'm not gonna do it, but that ego stuff. Mike then went ahead to give Joe Rogan and the audience some insights into the technological programs that's helped him recover. It was as a result of this information that Joe Rogan sounded so sure of Tyson's technological aids and how they'll prove very important in his match against Jake Paul. When I started training again, I started extremely slowly, and then I started dabbing in alternative stuff, cryotherapy, stem cell research, and therapy, and other interesting stuff that I just don't know. And it's just beautiful stuff. Hyperbaric chambers, and yes, everything to help me recover. Talking about how he felt back then after multiple training sessions, Tyson boldly said, "I'm starting to feel fit. That's what's interesting. So I know what they do and stuff, like I think I'm in shape, and then the next thing, you think you're in shape and you start having Rafael throwing punches at me. It's like you're fighting and I can't punch back one, I gotta avoid. And then 2 rounds go by and he say, whoa, I'm not in shape. I'm in the bag, 6 rounds, I'm doing these rounds, I'm jumping rope. And then I do 2 rounds of somebody throwing punches at me. It's a whole different psychological preparation." Joe Rogan then quizzed Tyson on how long it took him to prepare and be in shape for the fight against Roy Jones Jr. Tyson took some good 7 months to prepare, and it is only expected that he at least prepares in about the same time span for his upcoming match. I'm not so far away from fighting shape. This is August. I've been training since April, and when the time comes in November, I'll be in full fighting shape. Moving on, Tyson casually boasted about the number of supporters he's got, who would be looking forward to attending his matches. According to Tyson, his supporters aren't just random people anywhere, but many of them are athletes, plying their trade across different sports. It's going to be awesome because it's going to be me and everyone else that's involved. Then we're going to start off the Legends Only League, and that's going to be really breathtaking, especially starting off with me and Roy. And I'm looking forward to that because I have athletes from every genre. It's an array of everybody who believes that they're all going to come back in all fields. And this is going to be something that the Arrows intervention created together. And I think this is going to be awesome. So, it would be like all sports, baseball, basketball, and tennis. With the fight against Jake Paul coming up, we'd be looking to see more of his famous supporters and members of the Legends Only League cheer him on. Interestingly, at the time when Mike Tyson appeared on the show, Joe Rogan raised the same question that is being asked today as to how a man who's in his 50s would have any desire to endanger his health and hop into the boxing ring. Rogan asked, "It makes me excited when I see you training. I mean, some people, everybody has opinions when something like this happens, when a man is 53, 54, and he decides to fight again. As fit as you look, why not? Why not? You can do whatever you want, why can't? If you can go bungee jumping and ride a bull, then why not?" Tyson gave a response that could have definitely come in handy as a perfect retort to those who have pessimistic opinions of his matchup against Jake Paul in July. Impossible is nothing to somebody that tries. Everything that someone said was impossible has happened. Our limitations are impossible. Enthusiasm, yes, sometimes I say this is crazy, I can't be feeling this good, and then I think I really am, I'm feeling good. I know the bag is a bigger bag, 200 pounds, and I said, well, this bag wouldn't be moving like this. I'm not hitting it kind of decently. Being a real fighter, this is what you know. You see so many people that's in the gym. Matter of fact, I've boxed people in the gym that beat me up every day, but they know what's different. When you get them in the ring, and the light on them, and people are eating popcorn and drinking beer and they freak out. I'm still Mike Tyson, and I know how best to deal with that pressure. It's good, but if you don't have the doubt, you're going to have a lot of trouble. You have to have that doubt. He then added how much he was enjoying being in the ring and wanting to compete again. This new stage of my life is fun. It is fun. I do say it's fun, but it's still apprehensive trying to get back. But like you said, it's fun. I don't understand it either, but I want to do it. I just want to do it, and I feel like I was born to do this. He closed by explaining how much going back to the ring demanded from him and how he had to stop smoking to accommodate the new demands of his new phase. I've pretty much stopped smoking weed completely. It's gotta stop. You can't continue being a comedian if you're not sharpening your psyche. Even what you're doing right here, you're practicing your comedian act. You have to continue to practice it. The more you practice it, let's say you practice it every 4 years, you'll be better if you only practice for a month. So the more you do it, the better you become. I am a conqueror because I've conquered myself and my demons. I could never have been born at another time. I'm never born till I'm born at the right time. Most of them couldn't conquer their demons. That's why they ask for forgiveness from God. The interview on Joe Rogan Experience gave the perfect insight into the circumstances surrounding Mike Tyson's return to the ring since he retired in 2005. To Tyson, he has conquered his own demons, and that victory is the reason why he heads into another bout at 57 years old on July 20th. With the details from the man himself, supporters and lovers of Mike Tyson all over the world can now embrace some calmness. The insights given about his training and physical conditions could reinforce the faith many have always had in his abilities.
That was our first day.
Wow.
And after that day, I was in the bed. I had to come get the guy to do the fucking shots and electrocute me to get me back. I had the sciatica hit me. I couldn't walk. I was crying to my wife, and I was like, wow.
And now, he can earn the confidence of more people as he returns to the ring after 4 years to take on a man he's 31 years older than. Hopefully, he emerges victorious. Kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to keep receiving the best news the world of boxing has to offer from us. Until next time, peace out.